Alright, mythology students, I told you we'd be back to the 12 stages of a hero's journey once we began our Odyssey unit, and that's exactly what we are going to be doing. So I'm going to take us through this PowerPoint explaining each of the 12 stages so that you can look for stages 4 through 12 as we read our version of the Odyssey. Now the reason I say 4 through 12 is because you have already seen how Odysseus appears in his ordinary world. Okay, Odysseus is king of Ithaca. He is living there with his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus. All right, that is his ordinary world. All right, this is before his adventure begins. Odysseus gets his call to adventure when he is summoned to go to war. All right. The reason that he is being summoned especially is because he's the one that, came up with the oath that all the kings would swear to for whoever and if anyone ever tried to steal Helen from the chosen king, then all of Greece's kings would be after them. So we've seen Odysseus get called to adventure, get called to action. Okay, that's when he gets called to war. Now, obviously, Odysseus does not want to go to war because he doesn't want to leave his family. Okay, so this is where the hero is reluctant and doesn't want to accept the challenge. Odysseus didn't want to accept the challenge to go to war, so he tried to act insane to avoid going. All right, this is where we are going to start looking for these characteristics again. Okay, the war is over. All right, now there is a step. Okay, I don't want to restart my video, but let me clarify something here. Normally, in a normal story, we would look for these characteristics close together, but since the story of the Trojan War and Odysseus's voyage back home takes, 10 years for the war, and then his voyage, I'll spoil alert here, is going to be another 10 years. Since it takes place over such a long period of time, we have to kind of be creative and analytical when seeing how Odysseus meets all 12 of the characteristics. So we're going to be starting looking for characteristics 4 through 12 from the end of the war. All right, so there is a meeting with a mentor. Okay, now that is step number 4. Now that's where essentially the hero encounters someone who's older than them and willing to give him or her advice to help them on their journey. So I want you to be looking for somebody or someone that is continuously willing to help Odysseus on his journey. Okay, step number 5 is crossing the threshold. Okay, this is where we already know Odysseus left his ordinary world for the first time, okay, and began his adventure, but we're going to be looking for what Odysseus's crossing the threshold is from his journey home. Okay, so what point on his journey home does he enter kind of like a point of no return? So you're going to be looking for, kind of the first person that kind of messes with Odysseus and why they do that. Okay, so looking for Odysseus's point of no return to get home. The 6th step is tests allies and enemies. Now, this is essentially where the hero and his or her companions face many obstacles. Okay, they encounter many allies and enemies. So I want you to be making note of all of the obstacles Odysseus has to face, all of the allies that he makes, and all of the enemies that he makes. 7 is approach to the innermost cave. Okay, now this is where some setbacks occur, causing the hero to try a different approach to getting home. So what setbacks occur causing Odysseus to take a different approach to reach home? Eventually, the hero is going to come to a dangerous place where the object of his quest is hidden. So if the object of Odysseus's quest is to find directions home, then the approach to the innermost cave is going to be where he needs to go to find those directions. Okay, number 8 is ordeal. Now this is where the hero experiences a major hurdle or obstacle. So they've had obstacles and tests before in number 6, but this is going to be the biggest one. This is going to be a life or death experience, a horrific experience. Number 9 is going to be seizing the sword or reward. Now that's essentially where the hero is successful and gets his or her reward that they've been looking for. Okay, they finally get it. However, in number 10, when the road back, where the hero begins his or her journey back to their ordinary life, right after that, there's going to be resurrection, which is one final test or obstacle that the hero has to take on. Okay, so spoiler alert, Odysseus is going to get his reward and he is going to begin his road back home officially, but once he gets home, there's going to be one final obstacle that he needs to take care of in order to officially be back, which is number 12, Return with the Elixir. That is where their hero returns to the normal world and everything is back. So he is going to get back to Ithaca, but there's going to be one final experience that he needs to overcome. So do your best to try to identify how Odysseus meets these characteristics as you are reading. Hop on the Google Meet if you have any questions, and let me know if there's anything that I can do to help.